I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Update. Your host, Brian Smith, here on Smith Radio. And we are counting down the days until the election of Donald J. Trump as President of the United States of America. And we are on day 48. Hence the show update 48. And there's some breaking news that went down over last night, yesterday, and then erupted last night out in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. There was another shooting, cop shooting, and not all the details are out right now, but I've got enough details to get you informed, so at least you know a little something about it. I read about it throughout the night. CBS was covering it. Fox News picked it up, and then Breitbart also covered it. Well, they covered it by reposting CBS's article. Okay. Now, with that being said, this whole race war, or this war on race, this is where it comes from. This is Hillary's speech the other day, and this is a montage. It's just a minute long, but this is a montage of her speech. And if you elect her, you're going to get more of this, which is what Obama's been given to us already.
Prejudice and paranoia, hate groups, radically dangerous, of systemic racism, harmful stereotypes, hateful supporters, racial discrimination, in dark conspiracy theories, far dark reaches of the internet, the racist lie with another racist lie, bigotry, racist, white supremacist, bigot, an anti-Semitic on white supremacist, white nationalist leader of the Ku Klux Klan, anti-Semitic death threats, conspiracy theories, racist Alex Jones, racially tinged rumors. His bigotry is prejudice, a cruise missile, right-wing racial divides, conservative right, racist ideas, race-baiting ideas, anti-Muslim, anti-immigrant, anti-women, the emerging racist ideology known as the alt-right. White identity, hardline right-wing nationalism around the world, right-wing Nigel Farage, anti-immigrant sentiments based on race, extreme nationalism, racial resentment, white supremacists, racists, racialists, white supremacists, white nationalists, paranoid alt-right, racist, bigotry, prejudice, diversity, prejudice, paranoia. Thank you.
Folks, that's no joke. That was one speech. That was during one speech that she gave. If you don't think that she's the most divisive, most racist, most race-baiting individual, I mean, it's almost as bad as Barack Hussein Obama. I mean, Obama's had his fair share, and he's been real bad here recently, by the way. He was at the UN yesterday and just completely bashing Trump and going off on Trump, and then and cracking on Trump about wanting to build the wall. Come to find out, this is by the Gateway Pundit. You can follow the writer of the Gateway Pundit. His name's Jim Hoft on Twitter. It's just phenomenal. Jim Hoft on Twitter. He's great articles, always finds the right things, really does a lot of the research. And he used to work, I believe he used to write for Breitbart, or he used to work with Breitbart at one point in time. But anyway, so the Gateway Pundit did some research and found out, and I told you about this yesterday, that Mexico is building a wall on their southern border to keep their people safe and to keep illegal immigrants from South America coming into Mexico. Yes, Obama somehow slipped them a check for $75 million to help them build a border. Yet in front of the UN, Obama refers to building a wall as imprisoning the people within it. So if we build a wall on our southern border, we're actually imprisoning Americans. This guy's just he's gone so far off course. He's gone absolutely nuts with all the rhetoric, with all the lies, with every single thing that comes out of his mouth is either an absolute utter lie, it's projection. He's got contempt. There's also fear. He's got fear. And then yesterday, I'm not sure if I mentioned this on yesterday's update, but yesterday when he was giving a speech to the black, I believe it was Black Caucus, he instructed all of them. He said, "If this is about my legacy, and if you do not vote for Hillary Clinton, it's my legacy is at stake here. You've got to do it for me." I'm like, wow, dude, you're unhinged, if you will. So, okay, so back to North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. It's really frustrating. Here are some of the details that are going on right now. As far as we know, a couple of police officers, one of those police officers was black. The black police officer and a couple others that were with him, I'm not sure what the race of the other ones are, but the one black police officer, they went to an apartment complex there in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they went there with a warrant looking for an individual. They didn't find that individual. They couldn't find that person. However, there was another guy, a black guy, in his car, just sitting in his car. And I guess the cops were walking around, looking around. Well, the guy that was in his car, whose name is Keith Lamont Scott. Keith Lamont Scott. And if you go on any social media, social network, it's trending. Keith Scott is definitely trending. So Keith Scott gets out of his vehicle, and he has a gun. In the article, it doesn't say whether he brandishes the gun, meaning pointing it, waving it in the air. It doesn't say anything like that whatsoever. All it says, the police officer reported he had a gun. And he walked around his car, and he got back in his car, and then he got back out of his car a second time, and the black police officer pulled his gun, and in his statement said that he deemed Keith Scott a threat. So he shot him. And Keith Scott went to the hospital and was pronounced dead at the hospital. Yeah. I don't know what to say about this. It's a lot of the statistics that we come up with and that we talk about that come from the government on police murders and police killing blacks. It's more likely that a black police officer will kill another black person or shoot another black person versus a white police officer. However, protesters took to the streets. Protesters were heard yelling Black Lives Matter, which is a terrorist organization headed up by George Soros, who has pumped $2.5 million into that organization in the past year or two. People were chanting, "Hands up, don't shoot." And then one person held up a sign saying, "Stop killing us." Okay. I mean, apparently we're in a rough neighborhood, and I don't have any answers for this one. This is a tough one. Not only that, but this also comes on the heels of another incident that went down on Friday. And we didn't talk about this because I didn't hear much about it. I didn't know too much about it, but we're finding out about it now. There were protests and demonstrations in Tulsa, Oklahoma, over the shooting of an unarmed black man. Apparently, this black man, by the name of Terrence Crutcher, he didn't have a gun. He was moving about, and the police officers claimed he was not obeying orders. I don't believe that we live in in a police state. I mean, I guess if an officer asked you to do something, you could oblige and say, yeah, sure. What is it? What can I help you with? It'd be nice. But if somebody's not taking orders, let me tell you, I've seen police officers. I support the police department. I support cops. I support the Secret Service, regardless of what Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, and Chelsea Clinton refer to the Secret Service as pigs. I would never do that. They're there to protect your life. However, I have seen instances where police officers will go over above and beyond, maybe a little bit too authoritarian, if you will. So apparently there was a police helicopter in the area in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it was shining its light down on Terrence Crutcher when the cop on the scene said that Terrence wasn't taking orders, he wasn't listening, and he kept reaching in his pockets and pulling on his pants. And he kept doing that over and over again to make the cop think or feel that he had a gun, and the police officer shot him dead. And there was no weapon on him. If the cops have their guns drawn on you and they're telling you to do something, I'm just thinking it might be best to do that. I'm not trying to go, death by cop here. I'm not trying to suicide by cop. Thank you, Mr. Producer. Suicide by cop. That's not what I'm attempting to do here. And I don't see anything worth dying for in these situations. Keith Lamont Scott is dead because he was agitated, apparently. He was up and out of his car with a gun, got back in his car, up out of his car with a gun, and back in his car. The report doesn't say if there was a conversation. The report doesn't say if the police officers asked him to put his gun down or if he was not responding. None of that's come out yet, so I don't know. I'm not going to try this, on the air. I'm not going to try this on the social media, but as it stands right now, it don't look good. The police officers have been put on administrative leave until, which is standard protocol, administrative leave, where they'll be paid, they're off the beat until the investigation concludes what happened or what didn't happen. So, in Charlotte, North Carolina, Keith Lamont Scott, the protest said that they swelled up to be about 100 people protesting. They were smashing cop cars, breaking cop windows. There's all kinds of videotape on them breaking cop windows. Oh, that was another thing too, video. I haven't seen it. I don't know where it's at. But the article did say that there was live video feed on Facebook of Keith Scott being shot. I haven't seen it. I don't know where it's at yet, but somebody did say that. Out of these riots, it lasted all day and late into the night. I mean, they are burning everything. People are looting Walmart, going into Walmart and stealing things. 12 officers were injured. Many cop cars were vandalized, if you will, windows broken. One police officer was hit with a rock in the face, and the report said that none of them faced any life-threatening injuries. But man, I know there's a lot of people out there thinking, well, I figured that if we elect the first black president, well, technically the second one because Bill Clinton was referred to as the first black president. But, you know, we elect Barack Hussein Obama, and life's good to go. We're peaches and cream. And the race thing's over with. He's going to help, unite us, not divide us. I'll tell you what, in my 40 years of life, and I remember the 80s very, very well, even the very early 80s, where, there were a lot of racist jokes, different races, whether it be Polish jokes, jokes against the black community, jokes against even whites, jokes on priests, jokes on, just all kinds of jokes about different races, different people, different cultures in the 80s. Wasn't racial. There were jokes, maybe inappropriate, but at the time in the 80s, it was what it was. But it didn't make me go out and hate those individuals. Maybe I did form an opinion about Polacks, and I've never met a Polak, and I don't know anything about Polacks other than from the jokes. But it didn't make me angry, and it didn't make me hate. The 90s were a little bit different. You didn't hear much more of that, and it kind of started to go a little bit more PC. Early 2000s, definitely way hardcore PC, politically correct on everything. And now we're wrapping up 2016. We've had a black president for the last 7.5 years, and America is more racially divided than I've ever seen it in the last 30 years. I've never seen such a thing. So much hate, so much anger, so much frustration. Unemployment rates through the roof for the young 16 to 25-year-olds, white, black, whatever, just 16 to 25-year-old Americans. Unemployment rate, I think, is 60, 70%. It's through the roof. They can't find a job. That's when they should be working hard, trying to lay down, the path to their life or where they want to go and what they want to do. And apparently there isn't one there for them. So, got nothing else better to do, so take the streets and riot. Barack Obama has been absolutely the worst president that I've ever known. Obviously, Franklin Roosevelt, he was pretty awful with ushering in a communist-style era. Franklin FDR. Lyndon Baines, the LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson, he was bad with ushering in more socialism and communism. But this Obama, this is beyond ushering in communism and socialism and that type of thing. And we talk about that a lot here on Smith Radio. Socialism is the bus that everybody gets on that will take you to the town of communism or the country communism. So it's just that Obama has absolutely divided so racially heated situations, caused more racial tensions in the black community versus everybody, whether it be whites, whether it be Mexicans. And it's bad. It's real bad. There's a huge surging support for Donald Trump in the black community, which is really, really good. Donald Trump talks a lot about unity, talks a lot about bringing people together. This speech that Obama gave at the UN the other day was just so divisive. Just every time he gives a speech and he's outside of the country, it's all about cracking on America, making fun of America, and how America is so bad, so lazy, so racist, so divided. Just all these just awful, awful things. It's been the worst thing for this country. Obama has been absolutely the worst thing. And trending last week was thanks Obama. That was trending, and it was sarcasm. Thanks Obama for Donald J. Trump. Thanks, Obama, for this, for that, to where we're going to turn the corner and make this thing better. Okay, Hillary Clinton gets into office and Donald Trump loses, which I don't see that being possible. She gets in office as president. You're going to you heard the clip. You heard that soundbite. I mean, cue that up again. There you go.
Prejudice and paranoia, hate groups, radically dangerous, of systemic racism, harmful stereotypes, hateful supporters, racial discrimination, in dark conspiracy theories, far dark reaches of the internet.
Single speech. This is one speech, a montage of her one single speech.
Bigot, an anti-Semitic, white supremacist, white nationalist leader of the Ku Klux Klan, anti-Semitic death threats, and
nationalist, white nationalist leader of the Ku Klux Klan. She said that on purpose because we are trending right now towards nationalism, which is right now a very good thing, which means nationalism, which means love for your country, for your nation. So let's look at what America was founded on. Let's find the people who love that. Let's make that great again. Let's bring that up and let's embrace that. That's nationalism. And she's trying to link that with the KKK, which she and her party, the Democrat Party, originally started. Everything coming out of her mouth is her, and it's all projection.
Conspiracy theories, racist Alex Jones, racially tinged rumors. His bigotry is prejudice, a cruise missile, right-wing racial divides, conservative right, racist ideas, race-baiting ideas, anti-Muslim, anti-immigrant, anti-women, the emerging racist ideology known as the alt-right.
How can this even be taken serious? How can this even be taken serious? It can't be. I'm beside myself with it. It cannot possibly be taken serious. Oh my goodness. And there's somebody else that were trolling Hillary at a crowd just the other day. Listen to this real quick. It's a real quick clip. See if you can hear it. It's at a crowd, so it's a little bit loud.
Hillary for president!
Let's make it happen!
Hillary for president!
Let's make it happen!
Hillary for president!
Let's make it happen!
Okay, so he screams Hillary for prison, and he puts his cell phone right in her face. And he's filming her, and she says, "Let's make it happen." And her eyes go cross-eyed. This is cross-eyed Mary. This woman is losing it. Not only is she losing it, but right after her speech earlier this week, I believe it was on Monday, where she spoke to a college crowd, and we talked about it yesterday on yesterday's show, and barely 200 people showed up. She had a spell, some issues, had to leave, and she's now canceled all the rest of her engagements until the debate. So Donald Trump came out yesterday and told her, said, "Have a nice nap. Get some rest. Rest up. You're going to need it for the debate." You got me. There's a picture gone viral now to where she's giving a talk and she's trying to stand at a podium outdoor, and there's a Secret Service guy standing behind her with his hand underneath her arm, propping her up as she's speaking. This woman is not well. This woman is very, very sick. Oh, something else that's happened. This happened, I think, just happened yesterday. So it just happened yesterday that if you go to Hillary Clinton's website, HillaryClinton.com/calls, CALLS, calls, and you go there, you can actually tap into the call center, and you can sign up for the call center. And once you sign up for the call center, you can make a fake email address. It doesn't have to be real. Matter of fact, I know somebody who typed in Hillary Clinton at Clinton.com, and the computer spit back out and said, "Oh, error, that's already been taken." which is kind of a joke because somebody else has already done that. So they signed up as Hillary Clinton 11111 and went ahead and it patched them through to the back call center where you could click on different states and it would start spitting out phone numbers and addresses of registered Democrats. Their address, their email address, and their phone number is all completely visible to anybody in the world who wants to go there and see it. So you can click on call them, and you would actually really call them. And there's a script. You can click on the script, and you can actually read the script off. Or you can just scroll down to the bottom, and there's a question that says, who are they trending on voting for? And then you can pick out the 5 or 6 different options. And then down below that, it says, did you ask them if they wanted to help or be involved? And there's a lot of people on Twitter right now that are trolling this website. This is Hillary Clinton's campaign website. And they're trolling the website. And they're clicking over and over and over again multiple times. Democrats voting strongly for Trump. No, don't want anything to do with the Democrat campaign. Strongly Trump. No for the campaign. Just over and over and over. Everybody wonders why her emails got hacked. Everybody wonders how all this information is out about her and all these things have been exposed. Well, look at what she's got going on right now. Who's running this campaign? And the people that are running it, they're a bunch of high schoolers. Maybe not even that. I can find high school kids that could set up a website more secure than this thing in a proper manner. This is just absolute insanity. So whoever is a Democrat and whoever get these calls, they're getting trolled. They're getting trolled really bad. And there's some really bad people out there that could do some nefarious things with this information. I mean, if you got somebody's address and somebody's phone number and somebody's email address, you're not far off from maybe setting up a credit account or doing some credit fraud. Whatever. It's Hillary, and it's sad. It's real sad. Another thing that's really sad: CNN misquoting Trump, adding the word racial into his speech. They put up a picture of him and then typed out below what he had said, and he said absolutely nothing racial whatsoever. And CNN puts in the word racial. Some more DNC leaks on the emails with Hillary Clinton and the Democrat Party, and they openly speak about pay to play. It's wide open. They're talking about pay to play. It's right there in the emails. Okay. James Comey, talked about him yesterday. He's deep in the Clinton Foundation. Deep ties with Hillary Clinton, deep ties with some of the contractors. It's just absolutely sickening. The more information that comes out about all this, the worse it is, And I'd like to see James Comey face the music for all of this. We talked about the smoking gun yesterday, the IT guy looking for assistance, looking for help, and deleting all this information from Hillary Clinton's her name from all the emails from their server. It's one after another. This woman has to be stopped. There's no question about it. And the biggest thing right now that's trending is that her eyes. She's got googly, crazy eyes. They're going crazy. Oh, and another thing, she's starting. Well, until she decided that she was going to take a nap for the next week, she started doing more talks and more speeches with an aircraft in the background. Just recently, which Donald Trump has done the entire time, which was just really strange. Well, folks, you can find us anywhere, all over the net. Find us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, Smith Radio. It's SMYTH, radio.com. And on iHeart.smithradio.com. You can catch there as well.
With unfathomable power.
What kind of power?
Unfathomable. It's without fathom.